Hi guys, welcome back to part 4 of the securing the LAN exercise. So we left off in part 3, just about to tackle question number 15 here, with this IT manager wishing to get connectivity from the management server over to this web server, this creditbank.ie web server. So what I will do for the first, and we can see our score there of 93% guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our simulation mode first and foremost. I'm going to click into that. I'm going to just move over our instructions over so I can see a little bit more of this. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to just do a test ping between our management server and our credit bank. And let's take it one step at a time. Here goes our ARP message. So our ARP goes from the management server over to the switch, but it doesn't go directly to the credit bank. It goes up to switch number 5 here. And then when I click go again, we can see it disappears. So what's going on? Well, we do know that our IT management server is in a different VLAN. It's in VLAN 99. We also know that our credit bank server is in the default VLAN of VLAN 1. So that means we need to have inter-vlan routing happening. Because these are layer 2 switches, our traffic will have to go between our management server across to our Dublin router and back from our Dublin router back to this credit bank server. But there looks to be a problem, as we can see with this, otherwise we would have got a successful. So this is basically saying in progress, but if I keep going next and go back to real-time mode, what's eventually going to happen is it's going to turn to failed, as we can see here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to now take a look at the actual configuration for credit bank, and just to see how does that look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to desktop and I'm going to click on IP configuration. Now with this guys, I can see something shouting out at me. There looks to be a little bit of an issue here. I can see the IP address is they're on the 192.168.1 network, and I'd expect that. That's good. But here I can see guys that I'm on the subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and I've got a default gateway of 192.168.1.1. Now these alarm bells are ringing for me now at the moment, folks, because earlier on, when I looked at that DNS server, it was a very different configuration for the subnet mask and the default gateway. For example, what I can see here is for the accounts PC, for example, I saw earlier on that we configured this with an IP address on the VLAN 1 of 1.50 and a subnet mask of 255.255.255.128. And I also configured the default gateway with 1.126. If I go up to the DNS server, I can also see, guys, if I go to IP configuration here, I can see that indeed the subnet mask for it has got 128 as its last octet and 1.126 as the last 2 octets there. So what I can tell from this, folks, is there's a problem with the configuration of this credit bank server. And how can I make it, sure of this? I could go and I could have a look at Dublin's router. I could have a look to see what is it that it's configured with. So let's go back to privilege mode. Let's do a show IP interface brief, and let's have a look at the configuration. So if I just scroll this across and let's see this in line, let's have a look. So I can see that the IP address of this sub interface is 192.168.1.126. It's not indeed. If I go back to credit bank and look at the IP configuration, look at this. It's saying 1.1. However, that's incorrect. Okay, so we can see here that there is no 192.168.1.1. So what I'm going to need to do, guys, is I'm going to need to change some settings here. I'm going to need to go here and I'm going to need to change the subnet mask. Okay, so again, how did I know that this is the incorrect subnet mask? Again, what I could do is, it's not showing me the subnet mask of this interface, but what I could do is I could just go show run. That will tell me the interface address. If I just hover down now, have a look at this, guys. There's my subnet mask. That's my interface. There is the correct subnet mask. So what I'm going to do is, now I know that this configuration is wrong. I'm going to change this to 255.255.255.128, and I'm going to change this guy to 126 as the last octet. Now guys, once I've done that, I'm nearly there. I can see my percentage. Look, it's crept up from 93 to 97. We're so close. but we're still not happy, guys. You guys want 100%. You're saying, Greg, let's get this solved. We won't be able to sleep tonight if we don't get this 100%. So let's look at our simulation. Let's just have a quick look. I'm going to try this once more and see how far we get. We're in real-time mode again. Look at that, it's failing once more. So where is it failing? Let's use the simulation tool to help us. Let's have a look to see how far is this going. So let's try, we're testing from here, going across again, it's getting up to here, getting up to this next switch. So my trunk link is working here, guys. But let's have a look to see, does my, oh, look at this, guys. It's the ARP message is not getting sent across to my router here. So what's happening? Well, what we need to do is, we can see that it's working all the way across here. My first reaction, guys, is this a trunk port? Is this set to be a trunk port? Let's go in here to switch 5, and let's see, let's run the command show interface trunk. Let's see if this indeed is set to a trunk port. So let's make this nice and big. Okay, let's be patient with it. Let's go show interface trunk. And we can see, guys, at the moment, look, this port is the only port that's trunking. This port here. Now, if this is the only port that's trunking, it means that any VLANs that are coming from, other than the native VLAN will not be allowed, because the native VLAN of 15 is the only traffic that's not tagged. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to make sure that VLAN, in this case, so again, this is VLAN 99. I need to allow VLAN 99 to pass across here. If I go show VLAN, guys, look what I can see. This port at the moment, and this is port fast Ethernet 1 by the looks of things. Look at this. It's actually in VLAN 1. So it's set to an access port. It's not going to allow VLAN 99 traffic to go across here to communicate with this VLAN 1 VLAN. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to go in here. I'm going to need to go to conft interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and I'm going to need to run one important command, guys. As you can see, 97%. Here's the drum roll, guys. If I go switch port mode trunk, this should change this port from an access port to a trunk mode, which should hopefully help me. Let's see. Once I press enter, we go to 100%, guys. This is where we are delighted now, guys. You can sleep again tonight. Okay, so we can see these frames just about to go out. If I change back now, if I move now, go from simulation mode back to real-time mode and allow that traffic, allow this port to transition from a blocking state into a forwarding state. I might need to fast forward to just quicken on this process. Now if I go back to my simulation, what I'll be able to see is, again, it's running this ping test still. I'll be able to send from my ARP message. Now what I'm hoping is this ARP will be able to get across the trunk. Here comes the ARP request going across. Basically, now again, here we go with our looks like it's our ping message. Now there is a couple of different pieces of traffic going across here, guys. So a couple of different things happening. Okay, eventually this ARP response hopefully will come back to my PC. I might need to just go delete this message and try it again. Just go back to real-time or simulation mode. Just allow that traffic to happen. Just go back to real-time mode, fast forward the clock, just to allow those ping traffics and those ARP traffics to work. Now if I go back to simulation mode and run this, what I should be able to see is I should be able to see this going across. So here is my request going across here all the way back, and it looks like, guys, we are now successful. So again, back it goes. Why is it going to the router? Because it's inter-vlan communication. And back it goes, and we now have success. Okay, so this has now been successful. We can now communicate. And that's the last of our exercises there. So that is our 100% with regards to the technical tasks. The last couple of questions, guys, was to say, what other, so it says outline the common causes of compromised security, provide security recommendations to help credit bank mitigate threats from a network and data perspective. So obviously threats come from many different aspects, and again there's a lot of different causes of compromised security. As IT professionals, we tend to kind of focus on the technology type things like, is there router lockdown? Is there a vulnerability with our TCP/IP protocols? But again, there is some other forms such as, things like, is there appropriate policies in the bank? Are we making sure, for example, that we've got two-factor authentication when we access maybe a server, when we go to log into a system? Okay, are we ensuring that there's no, we're dealing with any human errors? So, for example, if we've got a salesperson here, have we isolated that sales computer just to the VLAN sales? Okay, have we ensured that this salesperson can't access, for example, the IT management server? So in other words, we're practicing the privilege of least privilege. So in other words, we're not giving our salesperson access to an IT server. So that's really, really important. Also, things to migrate or to mitigate basically attacks. What we can do is we can do all sorts of technical things. We can harden our servers. We can turn off the ports we're not using, and that's maybe the physical ports. We can do tests to see, is there any unnecessary software running on servers and other desktop computers? If this software is running and we don't need it, turn it off. These could be all vectors of attacks. The other question, guys, it said the web server creditbank.ie is about to go live in the production environment and will host content available on the internet. What specific security recommendations would you provide to Creditbank's IT department before it does so? So at the moment, guys, let's just have a quick look at this. Traffic is going to be coming in from the outside world out through our ISP into the Dublin router, and traffic is going to come all the way in here to contact creditbank.ie. So is this the best suitable method of setting up your network like this? The answer to that is a big no. The reason for that is if this server gets compromised, an attacker, so again, if this gets hacked, an attacker then is one step away from hacking a HRPC or the IT management server. So typically what we'd want to do is we'd want to move this Creditbank server from here, move it across into our demilitarized zone and connect it up over here. So what we'd want to do is we'd want to connect up our Creditbank over to our demilitarized zone to a port here. We might want to put it in a different VLAN over here than to our mail Creditbank.ie and a different VLAN to our FTP server. But we definitely want to keep it away from our trusted internal network. This is our semi-trusted demilitarized zone, whereby we'll allow certain access, so we'll create access control lists to only allow certain types of traffic, mainly going to ports 80 and 443 for HTTP and HTTPS traffic, to access our creditbank.ie. So that's really, really important. Obviously, before we put it onto the production network, we would run some hardening of the server. We'd turn off any other ports. We'd patch the server. So for example, if we were running, for example, a Microsoft IIS server, we'd ensure that we're running the latest version. If it was Apache, we'd do our updates with regard to our operating systems. If it was running on Linux, for example. So there's many different aspects that you would do. Obviously, there are lots of other things to take into consideration. There is, do we have defense in depth, in our network? Is this network secure? Is this router locked down? Have I got the appropriate access control lists on these? All of these things can obviously put in place more security and give us, greater sense of control. We'll never get that 100% security, guys, but we can certainly create many layers of defense to help protect us. Okay, guys, that's the end of this Securing the LAN part 4. I hope this has been beneficial for you, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.